New page. All right. Sorry. Had to kill your heart there. All right. Again, this is more like, questions and answers, problems with code that you're trying to write, re-explanation of stuff. That's what lab is all about. Any questions? Yes, Robert. You're talking about Project 5? Yes, all right. Let me bring up, let's see, bring up the assignment. Okay, let me share my screen and we'll talk about this. Share. Okay, so this is the assignment right here. Oops, sorry. Next one, let's see the screen. Okay, so part 1, write a program which uses function to display all even numbers from 0 to the number specified in the function argument, and write the program based on the following skeleton. So this is kind of your skeleton. In our case, the main function actually goes on the bottom, so this is your function definition here. You can call the function the same thing I call the function, display even. It takes one parameter, basically a number, okay, and then the actual function displays also all the numbers from 0 to the number. The only thing that the main program does is ask for the user for the input, in this case num, and it's being passed into number. Okay, so it's a very simple program, but basically the main function asks for the input, passes that input as a number to the display even function, and then the function does all of the work. Okay. All right. Did that help? Did that explanation help? No, yeah, it's flipped in here. The main function goes below. That's correct. So your definition function will be up here, okay, at the top. And I can actually edit this and flip it around. So let's do that. Go away. Let's go into here. I'm just gonna modify the skeleton a little bit so it'll look more easier for you. Let's see. Don't really have a name that's fine. Okay, so this is going to be called depth, right? Okay, and then whole thing go at top. No. What happened here? Something weird. Okay. Go back into here. See if I can edit this. This box is kind of closed. Yes, Robert, you had another question? Does the main function go below the function or above? v1 these is input the number, and from 0 to that number, you want all the u numbers. Yes, so this gets flipped. I'm trying to do it in here, but this part goes above, right? This. Here. This editing doesn't work really well. There we go. Okay. It's going to be there. Okay. Okay. Turn there. Alright, there you go. Alright, and then that's your main part there. Okay, so let me save this. Alfred, you had a question. That's correct. 2468. I don't know if it'll actually give you the 10, but it'll go up to, yeah, it'll go up to 8. Depending on how you write your function, if it includes the 10 or not, yeah, it'll go up 246810. That is correct. All right. And then Robert, you had another question. Not really range, but a for loop. It's a loop, right? You're basically going to loop, and then you're going to print it out. So, yeah, range is used in loop, so you could use the range. Does that answer your question? Well, I want you to actually print it out, right? So I want you to use a loop, really. I want you to use a for loop. Okay. If you use the range within the for loop, that's fine, but I need you to use a loop. That's basically what this is hinting at. All right. Any other questions? Let me fix up the other project too, so that it's flipped. It has a skeleton here. Allow right there, main function. And then we have the function here. Do this first. Yeah. Yeah. Input. Creating global cost employee salary. Oh, it's called employee salary. Sorry. Employee salary. That calculates. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So that's the main function, main program itself. Okay, done. And let me save this. There you go. Yes, Laura, you had a question. we're speeding up. These two are very, very simple programs. It's just all you're doing is, you've actually done them before. All you're doing is you're writing the programs with functions in mind. That's the only difference. These are not, there's nothing new in terms of coding except breaking it up into functions. That's all it is. So that's why it's due earlier, because there's really not a lot of work to do. It's more copy and pasting from your old programs. All right. Robert, you got a question? Or let me, Laura, does that answer your question? Again, I put it so that it's due. I mean, you can still work on it until it's like Sunday, I think. So I mean, again, as long as I'm seeing you participate and ask questions and stuff, even if you're past Thursday, it's okay. But I need to start covering new material come like Saturday. Okay, that's the reason why I'm making it due Thursdays, because I'm going to start giving you new material on. Actually, I'm probably going to start talking about the new material on Thursday. So yeah, don't worry about it if it's a little late. That's fine. But I would definitely want you to try to attempt it. It's not, like I said, it's not a very difficult. The first one I think will take you half an hour to write. It's that simple. All you're doing is just it's how do you write the function, you know, the syntax. That's all it is. The first one will really, the part one, the one for the even numbers is almost trivial. Okay, and that's all I'm asking you to do here, is write a function that basically prints out 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? So did that answer your question? So you're saying yes, I guess. Okay, so Robert, question. Well, if you read this, let's see, this is the second one, right? Yeah, so the second one, go to this one. Okay, it gives you a hint, right? If you look here, let's see, tell you a hint. Even numbers. Oh, this is still even numbers. What am I doing? Let me go back to the other one. Part 2. Okay, so let's see. You can write the from skeleton, right? And then what does it say? So see here it says call employee function 5 times. You can use a for loop, for loop to do this, right? Well, it's actually for, not for loop. For next, for loop. Do this. Okay, it hints it. Okay, so basically inside the body of your for loop will be the call to the function. Employee salary. Did that answer your question? No, can you clarify it then? Okay, let me see if I can understand what you're saying. Okay. Call the function employee salary 5 times. So basically, in your main program, which is down here, you're going to call this function 5 times by putting it inside a for loop that runs 5 times. So you want to be asked multiple, like 500 times. Asked multiple. I don't understand. When you're saying asked, you're going to be asked for the employee's hours and wages, wage rate, or wages. Does that make sense? I'll be back. Okay. All right, let's go to Assad then. Okay, so you're talking about part one, right? Let's go back to part one. Okay, write program the function displays every number of function right. Okay. What's the difference between function display? This is the definition, right? This is the function name is called display even, and you're going to pass it a number, and then it's going to print out the even numbers up to that number. Were you able to hear me? Okay. Did that answer your question? All right. Let's see, Robert. Yes, it will ask it basically will run the function 5 times. The function asks the employee information, and then accumulates all the taxes, and then prints it out at the end. All right, Laura. Question about after I said yes, like yes, thanks. Can you so you want to ask the question again? Okay, so if you look, you don't see this, but if you look at, let me go through here. You don't see this column, okay? So what I've done, oops, this is the wrong question. Let me go back here. So do you see project 5, part 1 and part 2? Notice it's due July 18th, but I will accept it until June 21st. Okay? Does that make sense? It'll show late, but it's okay. I mean, as long as I know that you've been asking questions and you've been attempting it, then I'll know that you've been working at it. No, not points deducted. Yeah, I'm not going to deduct any points. All right. Any other questions? So technically, you have till Sunday, but Thursday I'm going to start covering new material. That's what this really means. I'm giving you extra time, but I need to move on to other things. All right. Any other questions? Robert, yes. Yes, 5 different employees, exactly. right. Oops. Voicemail there. All right. All right. Any other questions? What we'll do on Thursday, I'll also give you a little bit of lab time on Thursday if you have any questions. I know some of you probably haven't started this project yet, but I'll allocate some time on Thursday. Even though I'm going to cover new material, at the end I'll give you some time for lab. Actually, that being said, I'm going to bump these till Friday. All right. So your new date is actually Friday. I'm going to start covering new material on Thursday. I will dedicate the last about half an hour to any lab questions that you have. All right? Remember to do the reading. The reading is this functions module, remember? Okay? You want to do this. Right? So here's an example, right? See, the function is here. Okay? This is the main program here. So in the main program, I am calling this square function. You see? This is how I want you to design those two programs, where the function definitions come up top, and then the main program is down below. So in the case of even numbers, okay, I might say input number from user, input equals, please enter in a number, right? Or let's put it the other way around. Let's say if I was going to modify this, right? Let's do instead of this, we'll do number from equals input, please number. Okay. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to do square result. No, square result. No, I'm going to do here. Square result of this squared is already there. Okay, so let's run this. It's asking me for a number, right? So if I do 4, right? And it's say, oh, 0, what happened? Let's see, square x. Square x. Let's see what time to do. Oh, it's set it to 0, so let's see. Running total plus x. Square result equals square number from user. Oh, I didn't make it a number, right? So I need to do int. Alright. 4. Okay. 6. Alright. So this is what you're going to do for the even numbers thing. You're going to ask for the number. Yes, Robert, you had a question. Yes, I want not above the function. I want it in the main program. I want it here. Those global functions will go here. Okay, they'll go in the main function. So it'll be in the main function, not above the function definitions, but in the main function. Alfred, you had a question. enumerate two functions on the same line. You're talking about the definition of the function, or you're talking about calling two functions on the same line? No, you cannot do that. That won't work. Yeah, you're trying to define a function. It has to have the colon. You see the colon? That tells you that the rest of this is the function. You can do anything inside of here. You can do range and whatever for or whatever you want to do, like this. You see the for loop right here? This is actually a very good example. This is one that you can use to tailor yours. All right? Okay, good. You got it. Any questions? So this again, you want to make sure you read through this and run through these examples, okay? Because this is what I'm expecting to see. I'm expecting to see some definition of a function here with some return value, and then the main function using it, or the main program using it. All right? Any other questions? All right, again, make sure you read the reading material first, because it will really give you a lot of hints on how to write these programs. On project one, how do print even numbers in between? So in the loop, every time you hit an even number, you're going to do a print statement inside of the loop. So when the loop runs, each time it's going to basically print it out. So imagine here, I can put after this, like in this case, I could just put in a print statement. Ah, the ultimate math question. All right. So we covered for loops, right? So the hint is for loops don't have to increment by one. They can increment by what's called a step. Okay, so if we look back to our looping, right, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back here. Turn to the chapter called iterations. Where did iterations go? Here we go. The for loop revisited. Alright, so let's scroll down and see what we got here. For loop revisited for random totals. Where's the where is it? Okay, let's look at for loop. Let's go take a look at we gotta go back to here. For loop. Here's one. Okay. Forward. Forward. You see that? What does this thing do? Okay, let's do it actually in here. Let me copy this. And just practically give you the solution. Alright, let me run my Python and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, file, new window. Alright, if I run this, I'll have to save it. Do I have it? Let's just call it this. Let's call it actually, let's call it loop. Yeah. What did it do? Did that answer your question? Not only probably did it answer your question, but it gave you a very good hint on how to do that problem. Correct? All right. Robert, yes. Okay, so as you can see, I practically gave you the solution for the first problem. But anyway, so I'm not going to put this in the module section as an example. You guys are going to have to do it on your own. Anthony, you had a question. Well, if I'm asking you to do it inside of a function, then yes, it has to be inside the function. So if you look at the problem definition, it says, write a program, and the function name here is called display even. This displays all the even numbers from 0 to that number. So the loop, the for loop is inside the function. I want it inside the function. again, some of you guys are not reading the program definition. It tells you exactly what the program should do and how it should be structured. Okay, you got to really follow these instructions to the T. All right, so again, you know, the two sections you want to really pay attention to are the iterations, or the for loop in this turtle section, and then you want to look at the function section to see how to define and create your functions, right? So function. Again, all in the reading. So you guys should have done the reading already by now, and just a matter of going back and looking at, you know, some samples of how you run your programs, right? I mean, how do you write them? Okay. If you look further down, it doesn't need the turtle stuff. So here's an example, right? Here's your function here, and this is your main function. I mean, this is your main program. All right. Any questions on the Project 5 programs? All right. So I'm going to kind of wrap up the lab here today. If there are any other questions, go ahead and ask them right now. Otherwise, I want to give you more time to do the project. And I will also have a short half-an-hour lab session after the lecture on Thursday. Yes, Robert. Yes, you will relearn it. I don't know if it's a slower pace. This is an intro class, and so we are kind of going slowly over it. But there, it's gonna, you know, they're gonna move, not necessarily as. Again, this is a summer course, so I'd say maybe half as fast as we're going. So again, it's hard to gauge it, but you having being exposed to this looping and functions and all that will make C++ all the much easier. Okay, so the key is that I'm trying to give you some, you know, the core programming skills that you will carry on into your other languages. So if you can master these things, C++ and all the other languages are going to be much easier to learn. All right. You're welcome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the lab here today. And again, we'll have a new lecture on Thursday, and we'll have a short lab session at the end of that on Thursday. All right. Okay. Hopefully this was helpful. I mean, again, the labs, I always want to get feedback to see if you guys are getting, you know, if the samples that I write or the programs that I write are useful. Can I get some feedback on that? Good. All right. Yeah. All right. Good. Good. Yes, that's what I thought. Good. All right. Then I'll wrap this up, and we will see you on Thursday. Thanks.